Hello guys, today is another episode of your sandbox project and right now you can see me. I don't know whether you like this format or not, but I guess I should try it. Today I'll talk about the sort of advanced stamina system and the way how to implement character movement controls. Let's get started. Well, I've chosen this theme because not all people care about the way or the order how the keys are pressed, and by default, like if you use default mapping, abilities to walk are bind on the axis that are triggered every frame, and the actions like running or jumping are triggered only once. So when you make some sort of logic, when you are moving and then you press like the modifier key as shift, you start running. But if you stop and press first of all shift and then press your movement key binding, you'll see that nothing will happen. That's because the default logic doesn't work in this case. So that's why I've recorded this video. So for those who have seen my previous tutorials on character attributes, you can start here with me from this point. I'll show you what you need to change, and for those who haven't, I'll leave the link in the description to this video, and I'll also tell you like the basic idea how you should implement the whole system. So like movement should properly consume and recover stamina. So first of all, let's start with the graph where I have all the movement. As you can see, I have different graphs, each for like its own separate logic. So handle health, handle stamina, and handle movement. Here you can see default mapping for the ability to walk. Move forward, it's axis that every frame returns, as far as I remember, 0 or 1. The same for left and right. And each of them returns or triggers the function that is some sort of state machine which handles the modifiers for run or crouch ability, and also handles the proper stamina consumption. Here you can see default controls for turning or looking up with our mouse. Other abilities here, they work as just modifiers. So for the run I have created the boolean running, and when I press or release they are set like properly. The same for crouch, and this one is just the animation of the default capsule, like the capsule change its size due to whether I am crouching or whether I am standing up. And here is the proper way to implement the jump. So I check whether I also have another boolean which is called ran out stamina. It means that if I'm not ran out of stamina, I can like jump, and if I'm moving on the ground, so I'm not falling, swimming and other cases, if they both like true, I have created the custom event which is called do jump, And what it does, it's calling the interface function. I add stamina with the value of -20, so this one will consume some stamina, then it uses default jump ability, and also, I'll talk about this a little bit later, it triggers the timer event which starts reducing the stamina. And if my key is released, I stop jumping. And here you can adjust this logic with your own logic, but for the sake of the demo, this is enough. So guys, the video can be a little bit laggy and I need to upgrade my laptop, so please be patient, it will be in near future. If we continue, let's talk about the state machine. So, handle movement state, it's the function. As you can see, for the input, I set the boolean, which is called isMovementInput active. And this one is set to the local variable, which is called isInput active, which I use here. So, first of all, we have the sequence. This part is for running modifier, this one for crouching modifier, this one is for the updating the character movement speed, and this part is for stamina handling. So I check whether I'm running or not, and if it's false, it means that run mode, the modifier for our running, is set to be 1. Because I have let me show you this function. It's very simple, but works as a charm. So please implement it also. Character movement has like max walk speed variable, and we need to modify it. We use walk speed, it's the default speed, like here it's 300, and I multiply it by different modifiers: crouch modifier, run modifier, and whether I am crouching, I cannot run in the crouch mode, it's my own decision. But you can go like without this variable and just make you able to run even if you crouch. By default, crouch mode and run mode are set to be 1, and they are changed due to like the way how I press my keys. So implement this function and we can continue with our state machine. So whether I'm running, if it's true, I also check whether I am run out of stamina. Because if I'm run out of stamina, I need to reduce my speed. And when the run out stamina changed to false, it means that I have full stamina. Only then or if I have enough stamina, I change the run modifier to 2. So that's how the speed of character is changed. When it's 2, it will multiply by 300 and the ability of run will have the like 600 units sorry. So when I have 600 value, I'll be running. My speed will be increased a lot. Next, I check on the crouch ability. So where the crouch is true, this modifier is set to 0.5. It means that I need to decrease the speed of my walk speed. And if it's false, it returns to the 1. So like I have the default walk speed. And here, if I'm crouched, I only use crouch modifier. So it doesn't if I am running and then I press the key that is for the crouch mode, this one will trigger and crouch mode will be used instead of run mode, and my speed will be decreased. Next one is update speed. So when we are done with our modifiers, we need to update our speed. And because this function is triggered every frame, this one will work also every frame. And here is the tricky part, and I'll explain you it in a minute. So before we start with the stamina handling, I should say about how we get the isMovement input active boolean. This one. It's also the function, but it's pure one, and it returns the simple boolean. So you need to implement it also, and here is simple logic. We get move forward and get move right. It's our axis. Then we use seal and abs, so each of them will return 0 or 1. Abs is for we don't need to have the negative values to check whether we are moving or not. And we use max here. So like if we have any active key, any key pressed that is responsible for our movement, whether it's forward, backward, left or right, it will get the 1 and return it as true. And if we don't press any, this will return false. So implement this one. Implement our state machine and use this function here as a trigger. Now we can continue. Let me close it. Let me also close this one. So let me also tell you about another one variable. It's current stamina. So here you can see I have like current stamina, max stamina, and delta stamina. Now we will talk about the current stamina. It is said to be notified, so it's replicated, and whether this value changes, it triggers only once, and this conditions are for checking whether we are run out of stamina or not. So when our stamina is less or equals 0, it means that we are run out of stamina. And if we have this one, we are not able to run or jump. Like here, If it's true, we can't run, and because we use jump also consumes our stamina. If this one is 0, it means that we just can't consume anymore, and I'll show you it a little bit later. So just remember, run out of stamina, can't jump and run. You can implement this for other actions like rolling and other, so it's up to you. And another condition, whether I have some sort of stamina, I'm not out of it at all, I check whether it's equal my max stamina, and if it's so, it means that I need to refresh the variable of run out stamina to false, and when it's false, it means that I can do other actions. And this one also triggers this handle movement state function. You need to make it also. So when it's done, we can close it and talk about, let me see, about handle stamina. This graph here is quite big, but it's all that you need to have the proper behavior for the stamina system. So let's talk about it. So first of all, let's talk about the event that can be used in any cases. It can be used for adding stamina, like you can drink a bottle of water that will replenish some of your stamina, or if you fight some sort of boss, like the one that has the frost sword, and if it hits you, you should be punished on your stamina attribute. So I use this one for negative and positive stamina changes. You can implement any kind of event you want. I'll just show you the idea how it should work. For those who has, as I said earlier, followed my previous tutorials, this interface function is not new. So when I receive event that consumes, that actually has some changes to stamina, whether it's negative or positive, I check first of all the condition of whether I am alive. So if my current health is higher than 1, I continue. Then I check whether stamina is negative, or my current stamina doesn't equal my, max stamina. If any of this condition is true, I can proceed. It means that I can make changes to stamina to add some or to decrease some. And I store this value as the delta stamina. Next, this one. Set current stamina. Remember, this one is with rep notify, so it will trigger the run out of stamina boolean only once if the condition is true for it. So this condition is for preventing over stamina growth, and if we have the negative stamina, we don't need to not negative, if the stamina is nearly 0 or equals 0, we don't need to continue with setting it to negative values. So we check if current stamina and plus delta stamina, so this value is changed, first of all, higher than 0. If it's so, it means that we continue with this value. If it's false, it means that this value is too negative and we just use 0 and we don't need to have here -1. Next, select float. We check whether this one, if changed value is higher or equals our max stamina. If it's so, it means that we don't need to have the over stamina growth, so we use max stamina as our current stamina. And if this value doesn't higher than our max stamina, we continue with this one. So please implement this also. And the final logic for this tutorial is this one. Init stamina reduce, init stamina recover. These custom events we need to implement, and we need to trigger them in these conditions. If we jump, we use init stamina reduce, so jump consumes stamina. And for our state machine, we check whether we are crouching. Crouch helps us to recover stamina. If we not crouching, we check whether our input here is active. If it's true, we continue with logic. If it's false, it means that we are standing. And if we press the modifier key like shift or control that without movement can consume stamina, it won't work, so we need to recover our stamina. We don't need to have the stamina consumption when we are standing and holding the modifier key. Next, we check whether we are running. If it's false, we are recovering. If it's true, we check whether we are run out of stamina, because if we run out of stamina, we need to recover it, and if it's false, we need to reduce stamina. That's it. That's the whole logic for the state machine and for our system. Now, let's talk about this one. So, init stamina reduce and init stamina recover uses sequence, because this one will be triggered per frame. We need to use the do once node here, and each of these events is used to be some sort of reset states for each of them. So init stamina reduce fires once and resets init stamina recover, the same like vice versa, but for stamina recover. So this one fires stamina recover and resets stamina reduce. And here we have timer. They are looped with the interval of 0.1. Go with any value you like. If you use lower values, the transition will be smoother, but you need to play around with the values, like the replenish rates of your stamina. We also store the timers, and we need to, like, if we are reducing our stamina, we need to clear and invalidate the recover stamina timer. The same, but opposite for the reduce stamina timer. So if we are recovering, we need to clear and invalidate reduce stamina timer. These events, reduce stamina and recover stamina, are here. And I check on condition for the reduced stamina if my current stamina is lower or equals 0. So if it's true, I need to clear and validate the reduction timer, and if it's false, I need to set current stamina with this little and simple logic: current stamina minus the replenish rate. For instance, here I have 2. The same logic here, but for the recover stamina, I check whether my current stamina is higher or equals my max stamina. If it's so, I clear and invalidate the timer for the recovery event. And if it's false, I set stamina, but the replenish rate here is lower. So the reduction here is higher and the replenish one is lower one. And that's actually it. That's how this system works. I hope you like what you have seen. If you like to see me more, please press like button, leave your feedback and subscribe to my channel. Let me check one more time. I guess I don't forgot anything. So, see you soon, guys. And if you want to support me, you can also visit my Patreon page. And I do have the Discord channel. Please also check it. See you.